What's good, everyone? I hope you're having an amazing start to your day or morning, wherever you are at. I appreciate you for joining the stream and supporting the journey. So let's kind of get into today, kind of what we're looking for. So again, we start on the higher time frame, just going to go down just so I can help or just have a framework of how I'm going to attack today. So yesterday, we're looking for higher prices. We always start on the higher time frame. We had this volume imbalance. We would expect us to trade a little bit higher. Again, I'm looking for these highs to be traded to this week. So we'll see if we can kind of get that. Yesterday, we noted this order block right here that we'd want to see it hold and trade higher, and that's exactly what we got. But look how we left equal highs there. It'll look a little bit better on the 15-minute chart. Let's actually zoom into this real quick. So notice how we have this order block. Now we have this one. If you extend this one out in time, we respected it and now trading up higher. So again, we have these equal highs right below a daily volume imbalance. So that's where my eyes are. That's where I'm targeting. Again, I'm looking for higher prices today. Now, again, in all my trades, I like to see SMT. So I like to see that signature be created. So we have it right here, and I'm looking at the bodies, right? So we know that the wicks tell lies, the bodies tell the story. So look how the bodies are. You see how this one is higher, and then this one goes lower. So I'm noting that as SMT. Again, that's in the direction that we'd want to see. And so we're looking at for higher. These would be of interest for ES, and these are of interest for me for NQ. So again, you see those. It's right below a daily volume imbalance. So that's what I'm looking for today. Yeah, pretty much it. We have a discount. We'll have a discount gap, I believe. So we expect it to go higher. We do have news at 10 o'clock. I think it is ISM. Yes, ISM. So we'll see if we can get, potentially we might be able to see a trade before then if it sets up properly and kind of going in the right direction. We'll see if we can take something, but if not, we'll kind of wait. But again, we have our criteria and what we're looking for. So let me go to the 4-hour chart. I'm just going on this chart. It's going to be a little bit easier. So look on the 4-hour chart. Notice how we have this fair value gap right here. So again, where do I want to see my trades form? Where do I want to see things set up? In this upper portion here. And again, we're attacking this buy side liquidity that is up there. That's where I believe that we will target. Then if you look at the 15-minute chart, this inverse fair value gap, we had an order block there in the 15-minute chart. We've now responded away from that. And this to me looks very, very, I don't like the way it looks. So I think we may come down a little bit deeper and kind of create something, but this looks very, very ugly. Yeah. But yeah, that's pretty much, you can take this off the chart. That's pretty much what we're looking for today. Again, higher prices, just have to be patient. As of right now, I don't think that there's any restrictions in terms of, yes, there would be no restrictions because I think it's over. Yeah, we're like 70 handles away, so there's no restrictions in terms of time element or having to wait until 10 o'clock. So we'll just kind of get a gauge of what's happening at the time of market open. But again, I am looking for higher prices today. We'll see if we can get that. And right now, NQ looks, it is the weakest out of the two, as you can see. We have SMT right there, but again, I'm thinking we're gonna go a little bit higher. It's a weaker one, it's okay, it'll catch up. If I have the right direction, it should catch up and start trading above towards these equal highs up there. Also, those equal highs fell short of the new week opening gap from December 29th. So we do have a lot of potential to draw up to there. And again, that offers us way more than 50 handles. It's about, what, 160? So there's enough range for us there to take a trade. I just want to zoom in up on these because this is kind of the price action I want to see what's important to me. But yeah, so that is the business for today. That's what I'm going to be looking for. Again, I'm looking for the key signatures to happen before the market opens at 9:30 to kind of give me an understanding of what I should be looking for in price. Because if bullish arrays are being respected, then that's telling me that I should be looking for buys. And bullish arrays, what I mean by that, just so you guys can understand what I mean when I say certain things, because I've been told it sounds like I'm speaking another language. Where is it? I think it's in this one. The path. Here we go. So, what the heck is that? I don't know what that is. I've never seen that before. What did I click? Maybe rotated. I don't know. Okay, hold on. I just need to do this first. So let's say price is this line. So price is starting at this line. As we go up higher, it creates arrays. So you'll hear me say an order block or a breaker or a fair value gap. I'm going to explain what a discount array is. So price goes up, comes down. Let's say price is up here. This is where price is currently. Anything that is below where price is currently at is a discount array. Now all we have to do is flip it for bearish. Anything that would be above a breaker, an order block, doesn't matter what it is. If it is above price and I'm looking for shorts, anything above price would be called a premium array. So again, we're looking for buys. So if price is right here, like let's do like a current look, and if that helped anyone, just let me know. But this is where price is currently. So this candle right here would be considered a bullish order block. Why is it a bullish order block? Because it's against the direction. So now because it's against the direction, if this was a key level that I was looking for to hold price, this candle should hold price. That's why when you say I like this specific candle on the 15-minute chart, why? Because when price moves away and it comes down into it, it's considered a discount. Make it very big so we know which one we're talking about. This candle right here, when price trades away, this is a discount. It's lower. So I want to buy in discounts and I want to sell in premiums. So let's look at this. This candle right here at 1:15 a.m. We move away. So what is in a premium? This fair value gap, but also this order block. Why is this a bearish order block? Because it went away or against the direction and then we moved away. So when it trades down, when it trades up into it, that is a discount. That is a premium array. I hope I didn't confuse anyone. I'm trying to simplify it so at least you understand what I'm talking about when I say things. And again, if you don't understand what I'm saying and when I'm saying certain things, just let me know in the chat. I am looking at that and I will try to explain it. As long as I'm really not in a trade or doing something where I need to focus, I will try to explain it the best way that I know. Again, I learned all of this stuff from ICT, and you can go to his YouTube channel if you want to learn pretty much how to trade, at least the way that I trade, or how I got to the point where I'm able to read price this way. So again, if it's above price, it's a premium. If it's below price, it's a discount. So again, if this would be price is above, it opened here, this down close candle would be what? A discount array. So am I seeing discount arrays get respected, or am I just seeing them just get ran through? Now this is a 1-minute chart. Again, we're expecting higher prices. I don't like the way that this even looks. It looks very, very, again, trend liney. But again, I do think that it's going to go up higher. Because nothing in here excites me. Nothing in here would be a buy for me. Even knowing with this 15-minute fair value gap there, on a 5-minute chart, it even looks uglier. So, yeah, really nothing there for me. I hope what I explained kind of helped a little bit, I guess, of what I'm talking about, because I don't want to be speaking a foreign language on here. You don't understand what I'm saying. If you guys have any questions, you can, can let it rip, like Beyblade. I don't know if anyone remembers those. They were kind of cool, I think. So again, the 5-minute chart, I don't really see anything that's significant. I mean, there is this fair value gap there, but it doesn't look, it's not too significant for me to note it. But what I will have is the first presented fair value gap is always in this yellow color, just for my awareness. Again, I want to see my setup occur from this line here and higher. That's where I want to see my breaker fair value gap setup occur. It can, occur down here. Nothing wrong with that. Probably would use a little bit less leverage, but I would like to see it be created up in this upper portion because it's on a higher time frame. That's where it's at. Also, this kind of overlaps with this 1 hour, or this is a 15-minute, but there's a 1 hour fair value gap, which I explained earlier. I'll go to that. This one right here, there's a 1 hour fair value gap. So that's essentially what I'd be looking for. So I want to see it above this red line, or above this. I'll make it red since I said red. Above that red line. It's essentially where I want to see the trade form and setup, is above that. And so right now we don't have any restrictions on time. So, if we see a trade that sets up or forms, then we'll be able to take it. Again, this is the ultimate buy side I think it could reach to. We do have layered buy side right here. This looks again like a trend line. It looks jagged down here. This looks too clean. That's why I think that it's going to go up there. We want to go against where the sharks were. This looks shark infested. This looks clean. Too obvious to me. Oh, I can go over this. Yesterday, remember, for those of you who were here, since we have a little bit of time, remember yesterday I said I didn't end up trading the PM session. I will say that. I didn't end up trading it. But I want to show you yesterday during the PM session, which was here. Yeah, no, it's Monday. I was right here. Sorry. So yesterday during the PM session, again, which is pretty much post 1:30. So you have the launch hour session, which is, and I'll get this done really quickly, 11:30 to 1:30. So during this time, I'm not really looking for anything. So then the post 1:30, then I can start looking for a setup. And let me just go back so I can kind of show you, because it's gonna be a little bit more interesting when I do like that. So yesterday, looking for a PM session trade. So after 1:30, I'm looking for a setup to occur. Now you go to the 15-minute chart. Notice how you have a fair value gap and an order block. You see that? Fair value gap, order block in the same region. And I'll show you, this is how I pretty much trade. And so I'm looking for that. Okay, what does it overlap with? A 5 minutes. It's not really a breaker on this time frame. But we have a stop run, a fair value gap with an order block on a 5-minute chart with an inversion fair value gap. So you see how it's all kind of converging in this area? That's what I look for as well. And if you go down to the 1-minute chart, then you see a breaker. You see this high, this whole place right here, this is a breaker, that's what it's called. Then you have a fair value gap right there that overlaps with the 5-minute one, and then you see the stop run. So this would have been the entry. I didn't take it, I wasn't live, but I'm just explaining to you what I do and why I said that I would just wait for the PM session if I wanted to take a trade. And that's pretty much what it would have looked like. And all it needed to do was go 50 pips or 50 handles. So 50 was there, 52 is there. As you see, it would have worked out, and then had 9.5 handles of drawdown. So I just kind of want to show that. But yes, I did not take the trade, or else I would have shown it. I just didn't do it. I was doing karaoke with my girlfriend, so watch out. Might start singing on here. Let's save and close. All right. We're getting close to the opening. We're about 5 minutes left. Again, we're looking for higher prices, nothing lower. Not interested in that. I've been trying to figure out if I should add some like I'll say like maybe like some lo-fi in the background. I mean, you guys would be able to hear it, not necessarily I would be able to hear it, because if I play it through my speakers, then you'll be hearing it twice. So won't do that. I mean, I could get some headphones and plug it in, and then it would be fine. But yeah, let me know if that's something that you would be interested in, like some non-copyright, like lo-fi music in the background or something. I don't know. I'd have to play around with that. Yep, trading is a lot about patience and just waiting. When you're in a rush, like trading, when you're in a rush to do something, good night. It 90% of the time is not gonna work. If you're in a rush to do something, especially with trading, you are not gonna be happy with the results, my friend. What is happening? Okay. So again, I have two. Since the last trade that I took was a loss, I have to use less leverage. I don't want to, but I have to, because that is according to my rules. The rules that I set. I don't know why I'm sounding like it's like something that someone else told me. I set the rules. But yeah, it's just to help me stay consistent and know how to manage funds properly, because eventually I want to be trading a large amount of money, and that won't be a $200 loss. It'll be a lot more than that if that's what I was to engage in. And so need to know how to manage a little bit of money, so when I am managing a lot of money, I know how to handle myself, that I don't go on tilt because of I took a loss or whatever. So that's why. Oh, how did I come up with my rules? Yeah, so I came up with my rules. It's more of like a personality for me, the things that I struggled with. So I didn't know how to take a loss, so that's why I'm only allowed to take one trade, because I don't need to correct a loss. I need to be able to sit with a loss, because it's fine to lose. Those were things that I was not okay with in the past. I always had to win. So that's the one thing of like how I'm only allowed to take one trade. But then the time element helps me just stay patient. So there's certain things that I'm starting to see in price and I don't see them align up. That helps me know that I should just wait, and wait till I see something that's clear. Like I think yesterday I was kind of talking about it, or maybe the day before, but I talked about how this one guy had talked about playing Pictionary. Let's say I'm taking a trade and we're trying to play the game of Pictionary. So imagine the person is drawing something out and then you guess. And the person's like, no, that's not what I was drawing. But you only get one guess. And then you finish it, or the person finishes it, and then it's a picture of a boat, and you said like car or something. now you've pretty much blown your only guess, and now you have to wait. So my rules are based on things that I struggled with in my trading, and so if I can fix those things, then it can change. Will I stay at one trade the rest of my trading career? No, I won't do that. I'll be allowed to take 2 trades or 3 trades based on how much I'm leveraging or risking. So my rules are based on my current level of skill. So that's how I'm pretty much using my rules. And I learned a lot from obviously ICT. So some of the rules that he had, I have borrowed, but that's how I pretty much came up with my rules that are individual to me, because sometimes other people have rules and they don't work for me. So, and it's okay. That's okay. I just need to find what works for me. And if you're trading or you're doing whatever, you need to have rules for yourself, whether it's dieting or whatever the thing that you're trying to do. You need to have rules for yourself that work best for you. If someone else has a rule, but the rule doesn't work for you, that's fine. It doesn't mean that anything's wrong. It's just that current rule that person has just doesn't work for you. And so you need to find rules or find things that work best for you. And ultimately, that's how you come up with a trading model. That's how I came up with one that worked best for me. Again, the same trading model that I trade, someone else may never be able to trade this. Like, even with the same rules, even with me doing what I'm doing, they may never be able to trade it. Doesn't mean it's a bad model. It just means that person cannot trade this model, and they need to find their own model, their own unique model. That's what I would be expecting. I am watching this candle right here, just so you know. How often do I reevaluate my rules? Usually after some time. So for me, I probably am only going to be able to take 1 trade. Probably this whole year. I'll be allowed to take 1 trade. If anything changes, maybe 6 months, but it's got to be a while. I can't just be changing my rules every couple weeks. I think that, and it obviously just depends on that. Like for me, staying consistent is very important, and especially in this game. So I can't change my rules all the time or every week once something changes or I see a variance to something that like yesterday, for instance, I had a time element. Remember, I was like, okay, well, I can only trade after 10 o'clock. Well, 2 of my trade setups happened before 10 o'clock. Now, does that mean because all the other times that I've waited and it served me that I should just change my rules because yesterday 2 setups happened before 10 o'clock and it was just kept running, and so I wasn't allowed to get an entry, so now I should just change my whole makeup of how I trade? No, that's not the right way to do it. But that's what sometimes people do in trading, or they'll somehow make an, I don't want to say excuse, but like they try to find to get into everything and to do everything. I'm not trying to be like that. I'm just trying to be consistent over time, and I can reevaluate my rules later on. So it could be 3 months, it could be 6 months, it could be 1 year. It all really, really, really depends. I would like to see if we can create a fair value gap over this, because if we do that, I'm gonna buy it. I'm gonna buy it. But that needs to occur. I want to see us create a fair value gap over this. And especially if that fair value gap can be the first presented fair value gap, I'm buying that. Like, yeah, I like that. That's what I like. Because look, this to me looks, again, I don't want us to run too far, but I do want us to create a fair value gap above that. That'd be more ideal for again, what I'm looking for. But again, right now, see, no first presented fair value gap yet. So there's nothing for me to do. That's a long wick though. So nothing yet. We just wait. Again, that's the thing with, looking and waiting for like what you want to see. That's also another thing. Again, just with rules, but just in general. Like sometimes we're willing to accept things that we don't even really want to trade or not even just trade, but really want to do. We'll accept it even though that's not what we actually want. But we'll be like, it's okay. It kind of looks the same, or it's kind of doing this, or I'm okay with this, when that's just not what you actually want for your life or for anything. So rules help you kind of set the standard of what you're looking for and what you're willing to accept. And I'm not willing to accept anything that's not according to a standard or a rule that I have personally set. That's kind of how I'm looking at it as. Right? Now I wish this wick wasn't there, because then I would view I'd view this as the first presented fair value gap if that wick wasn't there. I mean, I guess I technically could, but again, that's like being like, oh, I think it's gonna buy, so I'm just gonna do XYZ, right? That's not the type of trade setup that I'm trying to be in. Even again, if I think it's gonna go higher, right? That doesn't help me. Because if I were to, like, how can I explain this to you? Be like, oh yeah, all of my trades look the same, but this one looks drastically different. Now I will go to a 2-minute chart. So this is interesting. So on the 2-minute chart, we do have this fair value gap at 934. So, but the thing is, the first presented fair value gap hasn't been formed, so I don't know if I would take that one, but it is there. So I do need to see the first presented fair value gap form. We still have 2 minutes left in this candle, but yeah. Again, that would be changing my rules for something. Again, I would look at this if this was not a wick as the first presented fair value gap, and I would expect it to be respected and trade higher. That would be that's how I would see it if it was there, and then I would be taking this trade. But because it's not necessarily what I'm looking at in terms of like a fair value gap, even though this is a gap, it's not my normal trade, so I can't take this one. Even though, I just can't take it. Because again, it would have been what? Let's see. So 6 handles of drawdown as of right now, and 50 handles is 52 is usually what I go for. Is right there. So let's just put that off to the side. And again, this could be another like trade setup that I can take later on, but just right now, I'm not willing to take that. That's not a trade that I can take because of my rules. But I explained beforehand what I'd be looking for, and if the wick wasn't there, that's a trade setup. Like, I'm buying that right then and there, immediately. But I can't. And I'm not upset. I'm not sick. I'm not like, oh man, well, I coulda, woulda, shoulda. I'm just not doing it. And again, I think in the 2-minute chart, I don't think it, no, it traded down, so it closed that. So now the first presented fair value gap may be formed at 938. So this is not the first presented fair value gap, but I was, let me just leave that as there, as a, just so I can, yeah. So again, that'd be a pretty quick trade. 1, 2, 3, like probably 4 or 5 minutes it'll hit. So again, for me, I don't see that as like really a missed opportunity. It's just me gaining understanding, in my trades. That's all it is doing. So yeah, nothing really there for me yet. I mean, Here's the first presented for value gap at 9:38. Again, it's a little bit later, but I don't really have a, like, there's this wick, and if it trades down into it, I don't necessarily really have a breaker set up there. Even though I think that we can, you know, trade down into here, I don't see my setup yet. So my mind, I mean, I want to buy it because of what we saw here and just reaction, but that's just not my setup. So I may just have to wait a little bit longer. Again, I'm watching the bodies. Where are the bodies closing? So again, we saw this 5-minute order block. I had told you this was the one that I was looking at for a price to respond from. That's what we got. So just noticing that as well, and just kind of, you know, looking at this. Again, in no rush to get into the trade, just kind of being patient. I do expect it to go higher, but just have to wait. The setup, I have to allow this, like this would be nice actually. If we can come down here, again, this order block is here. Come down, create a fair value gap above here. Oops. Then it could be something of interest to me. Again, look where the bodies are being created, where they're being held. So creating a fair value gap above here is of interest to me. Like, I know it wants to go higher. I can clearly see that. Like, just the signatures that I'm seeing. Again, look at the bodies. Respecting. So I'm seeing that clearly. But just have to make sure that I'm able to get on side with that move. Again, I would have liked this. This is a breaker. This candle here, but there's no fair value gap that overlaps it. So that's why I'm not really interested in that one. Again, look at the bodies. They're closing inside. That might, that may be a trade setup there. It's just there's no fair value gap there. I can't take that one. Just the way that it's looking right now. Again, looks like it does want to go higher. That's kind of what we're looking for the whole time. If this would have had a fair value gap, left it, and then came down to here, again, look how this level has been used twice. This wick is a gap. I can ignore it, but that's not part of my unique model. It could be something I do later, but that's just not it right now. So I can't, make a rule as I'm trading. Has to be already in place, has to already be set before I can do anything. I'd love to be in down here because look, pretty much no drawdown. And then I expect expansion to here and to draw up to this buy side. That's my expectation. But we are spending a lot of time in this gap. Also just want to make sure, we hit the new day opening gap from today. It's pretty much this high right now. We hit that from today, which is inside of the February 4th new day opening gap, which would be yesterday. So again, I'm thinking we trade higher. Just want to wait and see if we can get a nice reaction and see if we can see my setup occur. Even though it's here, Again, I said I would like to see a fair value gap get created here. It just didn't do that. So I can't take it. Again, everything there is looking good. Everything there is looking good. So yeah, I mean, yeah, it would be a nice trade. But I can't do nothing about it. Again, this would be one of those situations where I'm not going to say, oh, well, I can also take where there's a wick and there's a gap there, so it's basically the same thing. I haven't done that study. I just know based off of that a wick is a gap. It can be seen as a fair value gap. Again, look at the bodies here. So I told you if we can create a gap above this and have a, which, you know, doesn't look like we're going to do, I would be more comfortable taking that. But there's no, because we also have buy side right here. Let's note that. Buy side's there too. So again, even this trade is below that. Now, oops, I have this. Create that up there. Have to go a little bit higher, but again, the draw is way up there. See, for me, this is like walking in the supermarket. You're trying to eat healthy, and then you walk past the pastries. That's what this is. Just started your new diet, and then you go to the store, or you smell the cookies. Like, that's kind of like how I'm envisioning this. Now, I would like to see this candle hold price. Again, I mean, this now is inside of it, but I'd like to see it hold price and not allow it to trade higher. As you see, this is kind of high resistant right now. I understand we do have news at 10 o'clock, but it's very high resistant. It should have already been moving and running. The thing is, like, we didn't see that at all. At least not yet. It should be running. So again, there we came down to the middle. We hit the first presented fair value gap again. So I would expect there's equal highs right here. I would expect it to start to spool up higher. And we have about 3 minutes until the macro occurs. So then would be looking for it to trade up higher. First to this buy side, then to this one, if we can get that. But that's what I'd be looking for. If it happens like yesterday, where it just keeps running and running and running and doesn't give me an opportunity, well, unfortunately, that's what it would be, I guess. 2 days in a row. Trust me, I would much rather wait for the setup that comes to me than to just chase the setup. Which is, again, why I got off at the time I did. I was also feeling the urge. It was like, oh, if it does this, I'll kind of wait. I'm glad I just didn't do it. I just turned the stream off and, you know, went about my day. You see very, very shallow runs above the highs. It should be expanding. Be very clear, expand, showing that that's what it wants to do. See, it shouldn't be going up and coming back down and going up and coming. It's overlapping every price run. So it's just telling me to wait. I see where it's going, but it's just telling me to wait. We're inside the new day opening gap from today as well. And we just reached the low of a new week opening gap from January 19th. Again, I mean, this is where I believe it's going. Like, that's the target. What I don't want, again, is at 10 o'clock, we just start screaming up higher and just running away. You know, I would not like that. But look how long it's taken to get to 50 handles. That's a lot of back and forth right there. A lot of wicks. Again, I would expect this candle here. It's a discount, it comes down into it, I would expect it to hold price and send it higher. I would expect it to get ran through. I'm not going to put everything that I see on the chart because it'd be just way too much. Way too much. What I would honestly like to see is it go against this a little bit, especially at the news, go down against all of this, maybe even take this out, maybe not, maybe use something down here, maybe use an order block, create a short-term high, and then expand above it. That's what I would be expecting. That's what I'd want to see. But again, we may not get that. The macro just started, so we may get the spooling up to this, to here, and again, it would be a setup that is not ours, but able to call it to a level. Yep, just gotta be patient. And again, if I was in a trade, understanding the condition that I'm getting with, let's say I did buy down here. I understand that we're in high resistant conditions, so that means that I cannot be quick to trail my stop loss. I'm more likely to get stopped out if I'm just jamming my stop loss up there because I don't want to lose. That was also another thing that I would do when I was in the beginning of my career. I would jam my stop loss up so tight because I didn't want to lose, and I was like, you know what, I'm okay with risking initially, you know, $100, but then only making like $5 because I jam my stop loss up. That doesn't work long term. See, again, you know, we expand away from here and go above this high with a fair value gap that's clean. We can do that, but just gotta wait. I don't want to be in all this mess anyways. Like this is not the mess for me. So we do have a wick on the 5-minute chart there, so I'm trying to see if, you know, what we're gonna do there on the 5-minute, but we'll see. We did trade a little bit above that high, but again, nothing of significance. I mean, we did hit the new week opening gap high up here and pretty much, you know, closed below it, so that is of significance. Let's look at the other two. Again, traded above the high. Yep, that was traded above inside of that gap. This did the same thing. I'm wondering if it's going back down to then take stops to then trade up a little bit higher. That's what I would be looking to see. Like, what are we getting from here? Are we getting just any respect? Are we just disrespecting everything? Because it gives us an idea. Again, I'm really looking at higher prices. Doesn't mean that's going to happen today, but that would be my thought process. But also, I need to see that occur. Because for me, nothing is letting me know right now, okay, it's even time to take a sell. There's nothing there for me to even if it runs and rips lower. Again, like I said, I would like to kind of see it come down here and take people out who are early, and at the news, take us down, unseat people, and then start to trade higher. That's what I'd want to see. Not for my own personal, not for my own personal gain. I'm just saying because I didn't like the way all this was anyways. So I'd be okay with coming down here and then unseating people. Notice how this gap again is still holding, right, with this breaker. So I do like that. And if we can move away with some speed, with some energy, that's what indicates me or lets me know it's time to get into a trade. When I see it show energy or speed away from it, I'm like, okay, now it's time. That's like the key signatures that I started to notice and being patient for. Like, I just want to get in at any time. I want it to show me that it wants to go. So again, it took out stops here. It needs to be running away with speed, like showing me that it wants to go higher, that that's where we're going, not struggling below this low. So again, I want to see large range candles just move away. Then I'm more willing to get into the trade. We have 5 minutes until the news comes out. I would not like to see, 5 minutes we're kind of here and then just just shoots up. That I wouldn't necessarily want to see, because probably not going to be able to get into that trade, but you never know. I can take this off now, or just hide it, actually, for right now. So user first presented fair value gap again. But yeah, I want to see speed. Speed start to be shown away from this level, because I'm looking for bullish price action, so I want to see speed away from it, giving me indication like, hey, it's time to go now. And even when I'm in my trade, let's say I bought here, I want to see it move away. Like, I don't want to see it hang out around here too long. It's not indicating anything of speed and wanting to move and wanting to go somewhere when I don't see that happening. Let me just I thought I was honestly talking with the mic off. That would have been horrible. I'm glad I wasn't, but that would have been pretty interesting. Because I see the chat on my laptop, but there's no, the sound isn't on, so I can't tell if you guys can hear me or not. Again, nothing here telling me that we need to short. I'm not worried. Just waiting. Three minutes until the news comes out. So again, here's the order block that I said I would like to see us kind of hit, and then see if we can get some type of bullish price action from there, because it's inside of this wick. So I want to see that. Look at ES, how much ground it's given up. Look at Dow, and look at NQ, kind of holding. So again, getting in early, trying to make a makeshift trade that looks like none of the things that I would normally trade on in my trading plan. I would have definitely like 100% been stopped out. Like, I'm just letting you know that right now. I would have been stopped out. Literally by a tick from where it's running right now, I've been stopped out right there. Why? Because this gap I wouldn't have expected to come down here, and I don't know if I would have had it below here. So again, looking at the bodies, we respected that. So creating a fair value gap here is actually pretty beneficial to the upside if it does that. Then taking a trade to target there and there would be of interest to me. But we have to do, again, specific things. If we don't do that, then I'm not interested. Yeah, we may just run. But got to do certain things in order for me to take a trade. Ugh. I'd love to see if we can create a fair value gap here, but then the next candle would be the 10 o'clock candle, so then I don't know if that's possible if it does that. Look how the body stayed above. Look how the body stayed above that. I always forget to do this. Oh, you see that? Just straight up. We'll see if we get anything. Again, that's what I said. I didn't really want. I didn't really want it to go just, straight up and, not give an opportunity. But, price can do whatever it wants to do. So hopefully we don't come up there and hit that. And if we can actually create a fair value gap right there, right over top of this, I will see this as a breaker. But again, it has to do that. Has to do that. Because then that also overlaps with this down close candle. So you see how things are starting to kind of flesh out and go together. I would have liked it more if it would have, did a little bit better, a bit close. But again, need to see a gap there. We may not get that. Yeah, that's small. Yeah. So again, that's not a trade for me either. Just have to wait. Again, it's very, very high resistant right now. Everything is being overlapped by the next thing. So yeah, unfortunately, it may go up there again. It may be just one of those days, and I'm not able to get in the trade. That's immediate rebalance right there, as I would expect it to trade a little bit higher. But yeah, there's nothing for me right now. Maybe one of those days where we only take one trade and or one of those weeks, where we only take one trade and it's a loss. There's nothing I can do about that. Much rather had it just not immediate rebalanced, left a gap, then I would take it. Win or loss, I would take that one because that's what makes the most sense to me. But we do have a little bit of SMT right here. This was able to trade up higher. This was not able to trade up as high. So, well, I mean, technically, actually, I didn't even see that. So right here, I actually would take that. I'm gonna take it right now, actually. Right there. Stop loss is gonna be here. Dang, why is it so much? And then it's like 205. Yep, so that's my trade right now. We'll see if we'll see what happens. That's the trade I'm seeing. I like that. It's below this gap here. There's a fair value gap. There's the breaker. And so we'll see what we get here. Looks like another stop out. Traded deep into that. Very, very deep. Yep, okay. That's a stop out right there. It's the only trade that I took. So I saw this here, a breaker here with this fair value gap. We came up here, came down. That's why I pretty much took the trade. So it's another, another loss today. It happens. I was seeing I thought that I saw this down here, and that's what I was looking for. Again, I'm looking for higher prices, and that's just something that we may not get today, and that's just okay. So that's pretty much the trade for today. Again, this down here, again, I kind of said I didn't like that, but from what we were seeing and what I was looking at in terms of a high, low, higher high, volume imbalance, order block with this at the top, 5 minute. So I expected that to respond a little bit better. Just didn't get that, and that's okay. So that was pretty much the trade for today. It happens, so going to pretty much the next trade I'll be taking will be on Friday. That's NFP. So yeah, definitely appreciate everyone for being on. I do see this one again, but you know, right here. This to me looks like this gap right here. Again, I would expect the lower portion to hold. But again, I was looking for bullish prices, so I wouldn't, you know, I wasn't necessarily expecting this at all, you know. So yeah, I do see some stuff down here, but I do think this is just a deeper stop run, and it's just gonna go higher. That's my thought process. I just got stopped out. Just, it might have wanted to go a little bit deeper. That's pretty much like how I viewing this right now. I don't actually think it's a short, but it could be. But I personally don't think that that's what it is. I think it's just gonna, you know, end up running higher. It just went a lot deeper because my stop loss would never be down there that low based off of this structure right here. I would expect it to be framed and held right there. Just might have just traded a little bit deeper than, you know, what I would have wanted. So but yeah, thank you for everyone for being on. That's pretty much the only trade that I'm gonna take today. So I'll be back here on Friday. I hope you guys have a great day, and I will catch you guys on the next stream. Peace out.